Hello, what's going on everyone? My name is Ken, and I wanted to make a quick video talking about all of the current dungeon mounts that you can farm in World of Warcraft before Shadowlands starts. I'm going to be covering each mount by order of expansion, and I'll try to keep the video nice and short so you guys can start collecting and you don't have to waste too much time. So without further ado, I want to get right into the video. The only mount obtainable left from vanilla content is the Death Charger's Reins, from inside the dungeon Stratholme located in the Eastern Plaguelands. You want to take the service entrance that's located around this area, and then once you're inside you need to kill the 3 bosses located at each of their ziggurats. Also, once the bosses are dead, you need to go inside of the ziggurats and also kill the cultists left inside. Once all that is done, you can progress to Rivendare, and then kill him, and then just pray to RNGesus.
Failure.
But if you don't get it, that's okay. Just bang your head against your desk and reset the instance. Once that's done, rinse and repeat until you get it. For the Burning Crusade expansion, there are 2 mounts that you can obtain running through dungeons. Both have to be run on heroic difficulty, so you only have 1 chance per day on each tune to get these mounts. The first mount is the Swift White Hawkstrider found in the Magister's Terrace. You can get to this dungeon by going to Shattrath City and then taking the portal to Quell Delas. Once you're there, the dungeon is very linear and the only gruesome part is sitting through the forced roleplay from Kael'thas. The next mount from BC Dungeons is the Ravenlord. You can get this from Sethekk Halls located in Terokkar Forest. All you have to do is progress through the dungeon like normal until you see this big blue boy. Take his birdseed and then also pray that the mount drops with it. Wrath of the Lich King Dungeons also introduces 2 new mounts as well, with one of them being a 100% drop chance as long as you're able to beat the time constraint. The first mount is the Bronze Drake that drops from the Calling of Stratholme. You can get to this dungeon pretty quickly by taking a portal to the Caverns of Time, and if you kept up with the latest expansions or maybe an expansion or 2 ahead, you should have no problem clearing this. Once you make it through the first 10 attack waves and clear through the gauntlet, just past the area you would normally fight Mal'Ganis. Keep going around the corner until you see the bonus boss, and then once you kill him, the mount is yours. The other mount that can be obtained in Wrath of the Lich King is the Reins of the Blue Proto-Drake. This one drops from Skadi the Ruthless and Utgard Pinnacle. You can get to this dungeon from the Howling Fjord, and you have to be sure to use the big boy entrance on the side rather than the one on the inside. The one on the inside will take you to Utgard Keep. Remember that these dungeons need to be run on heroic difficulty, but just keep progressing through the dungeon and I'm fairly certain that you can even skip the first 2 bosses and go directly to Skadi. Once the fight starts, you're going to have to kill some of the adds until they drop their harpoons. Once you've gathered at least 3, you'll have to wait until Skadi's in range and then you can use the gun to shoot him down. Once he's down, just one-shot him and then hope that the mount drops with him. We have 5 new dungeon mounts in this expansion, with 2 of the mounts being obtainable in just 1 dungeon. Head over to Northern Stranglethorn and then go inside the dungeon Zul'Gurub. This dungeon is really nice because you can ride your mount for the majority of the run, and you can just straight beeline it to the 2 bosses that drop the mounts. This dungeon does have to be on heroic difficulty, so it can only be farmed once per day on each tune. You can get the Armored Rizashi Raptor from Bloodlord Mandakir and the Swift Zulian Panther from High Priestess Kilnara. Just when you've thought you've had enough of trolls, Blizzard has blessed the player base with another troll dungeon that drops them out. Thankfully, this one is like the Bronze Drake and is tied to a time constraint. Go north to the Spooky Plaguelands and go inside the dungeon Zul'Aman. In order to get this mount, you have to kill each of the bosses that is holding an imprisoned NPC. Once you've killed them, the NPC shouldn't be very far from the boss, and usually they'll call out with some type of dialogue asking you to free them. Once you've freed all of the prisoners leading up to the boss Halazi, go to the back corner of the room and look for this tiny little bag. It should be capable of containing this big boy bear. Congratulations, you just got yourself the Amani Warbear. The last 2 Cataclysm dungeons that drop mounts are the Stone Core and the Vortex Pinnacle. These dungeons can be run on normal difficulty and still drop the mount. That means you can still farm these mounts as much as you want until the Blizzard Police tell you that it's time to take a break. You can get the Reins of the Vitreous Stone Drake from the Stone Core. All you have to do is work yourself to the dungeon until you get to Slab Hide. Before you do that though, you have to kill this big wormy boy, but after that you're golden. The final mount is the Drake of the North Wind from Alteris. This mount drops in the Vortex Pinnacle located in Uldum, and the dungeon itself looks really good. That is until your eyes develop glaucoma because of how long you'll be farming this mount and then spinning in circles just to reset the instance. So I guess Blizzard just decided to skip over MoP in general in terms of dungeon mounts, but that's okay, at least we got WoD, right? Oh yeah, this was actually the expansion where an entire patch revolved around a selfie camera and a garrison jukebox. I guess the dungeon mounts are over where all the extra WoD content is at. Which is non-existent. Legion added 2 mounts from dungeon drops, and one of them is a 20% chance of dropping, but if you try really hard like me, you can turn that 20% chance and make it feel like a 1% chance. Both mounts are located in the new Karazhan dungeon and need to be run on Mythic difficulty. The mount that's a 1% chance is Midnight's Eternal Reigns from Ottoman the Huntsman. He's very easy to get to, just kill whatever the opera boss has in store for you and then make your way to the Huntsman. Now there's actually a lot of steps in order to get this next mount, so if you haven't been listening throughout this video, you better listen now, because things are about to get serious. I apologize for how many times you're about to hear the word crystal. When you first enter the dungeon, Medivh is going to whisper something super sweet into your ear. At that point, beeline it as fast as you can to the upper boss and kill them. You can literally see the first objective right outside of your range, which is that crystal right there. Once you successfully ruin the entire play for everyone and who paid to see it, you also partake in civilian casualties by killing everyone and then clicking on the crystal. You're going to have a few minutes to go and find that other crystal, which is upstairs. Next, go towards the tall lady, but don't actually fight her. Instead, go inside of these living quarters and then click on the next crystal. Next, you're going to have to kill the really cool undead guy with a bunch of fancy guests. Not only are you going to click on this third crystal, but you're also going to take his keys. The fourth crystal is going to be in the crawl space, which is totally arachnophobia friendly. Kill all of the pests and then take this crystal. Once you do that, take the teleporter for maximum efficiency and then take the stairs up. Climb all the way up until you kill Lord Crystal. Once he's dead, click his crystal. You should have plenty of— oh my god, the reset timer went down to 5 minutes. Go down the stairs at God's speed, and then once you're there at the bottom, go through the balcony entrance and talk to Spooky Medivh. Congratulations, you have killed all the crystals and have activated the bonus boss. Kill him, and you'll definitely get the mount just like I did, and you won't have to do this all over again. Battle for Azeroth Dungeons introduces a lot of new mounts for its players. All of these dungeons are current content and must be done on Mythic difficulty in order for the mount to drop. There have been some cases where these mounts can drop on Mythic pluses, so if you really want to suffer for that sweet dopamine trigger, no one is stopping you. Operation Mechagon drops 2 of the mounts. The Mechagon Peacekeeper, which neither me or my friend have, from HK8 Aerial Oppression Unit, and there's also the Aerial Unit R21X, which is dropped off of Hard Mode Mechagon. If you run the dungeon with 5 people and no one else has the mount, then it's a 20% chance of becoming yours. It only drops for 1 person in the dungeon. I don't have any footage of me running Hard Mode Mechagon, so I'll be sure to put a link or a guide in the description below so you guys can go check that out if you're interested in getting the mount. The other 3 mounts are pretty self-explanatory, and they're just like all the other ones I've explained so far in the video. All you have to do is just run through the dungeon and then kill the final boss and then cross your fingers that the mount drops. Sharkbait drops from Harlan's Suite in Freehold, the Mummified Raptor drops from Dazar the First King in King's Rest, and this badass Underrot Krog drops from the Unbound Abomination in the Underrot. There are some bonus mounts that we'd like to cover before ending this video. There's the Big Love Rocket from Valentine's event during February, the Brewfest Ram and Brewfest Kodo during Brewfest at the end of September, and then during the Hollow's End event during Halloween, you can get the Headless Horseman mount. Also, about every 2 to 3 weeks when time walking becomes relevant, there's a chance that the Infinite Time Reaver could drop from each boss killed. That covers every single mount you can obtain through dungeons in World of Warcraft. If this video helped you, please consider giving it a thumbs up and leave a comment below whenever a rare mount drops for you, or comment if you simply need a place to vent during your endless mount grind. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And he drops the reins of the Drake.
This fucking worm is aggroed onto me. Can you come res me? It literally aggroed onto me and meleeed me for 770k.
Correct.